Good morning. I'm Judge Person, and I do welcome everybody to the court this morning. And we're having on the court by agreement. So if anyone would prefer to come in instead of being online, just feel free to let me know that. I am going to actually begin by starting the attorney docket because I see that folks are logged in. And Anthony Cantrell, I believe you're here on the Flores case. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor. Let me just
Okay.
pull over real quick.
Oh, goodness, yes. Please do not be on video for sure. Um, okay, are you safely pulled over?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. So I will go ahead and move you to the meeting with Mr. Matson, who is our prosecutor. Mr. Matson, if you would introduce yourself quickly to everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Okay, great. Let y'all go ahead and meet regarding that case. And let's see. I'm trying to find. Goodness, it reorganized everybody. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, and while they're doing that, I just wanted to check in real quickly. I'm just going to call a few names of folks that I think are not here. So don't worry if I don't call your name. It means I already know that you're here. But Gabriel Jimenez or Jimenez, I'm not seeing that person. Joshua Bell.
I'm here.
Oh, good. Gabriel, there you are. We'll be with you shortly. Thank you. And
Okay.
now I've got you marked in, so that's great. I do want to visit with you shortly. And I also, that's why I call that docket. Joshua Bell, do you happen to be here? And Sabrina Brown and Ashley Williams. And then just quickly, I wanted to let Terry, I'm going to say this wrong, Atis? Hi, can you unmute?
It's eight, just
Eight.
eight.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Miss. Thank you. Your case has been dismissed by the state.
Great.
You're done. So you can go ahead and log off now, and we can email that to the email that we have on file, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
good.
Your Honor.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's good. The less is better on the bandwidth. So again, I'm Judge Person. I was noting when folks logged in. Give me a moment to order my files real quickly, and then there's a couple of people for me to talk to. Mostly we have a pretrial docket this morning, but that's not everything. So just a few notes before we get going. I do want to let you know a couple of things that I think, it's helpful to know. Normally, if you are in a Class C court, this is a Class C court, there's a few things that make a Class C court different. Although I would say, generally speaking, there's not just a whole lot of difference between Class C offenses and higher level offenses. Probably the largest thing that people think about in a Class C court, besides the fines being lower than higher level courts, probably the largest difference is that if you're found guilty of an offense here, you wouldn't be subject to being jailed. And so that is a hallmark difference. Mr. Cantrell and Mr. Matson, y'all are already back over, so let's go ahead and check in.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we do have terms of deferral.
Okay.
Those terms are going to be a 90-day period.
Okay.
With a Type 3A record turned in by the 30th day. And payment of the fines and costs today.
Okay. All right. So just to make sure I have the order properly identified, a deferral that runs from today until February 10th, a Type 3A record, which we will provide information for how to locate that just for you to have and for your client to have through you by December 12th, and then payment being today. Do I have that correctly identified, folks?
Yes, yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
Judge.
Okay, then with that, can we email that to the email that we used, Mr. Cantrell, to set up the meeting today?
Yes, ma'am.
Then if we can do that, then you're gonna be good to go with the thanks of the court, and we'll look to get that back from you later today. Will that work? Can we do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, that will come from the same email that we used to set up the meeting this morning, and you are good to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Richard Walker is here. That's good. And then, so yes, you're not subject to jail, but you can be, you could wind up with a warrant if you are, if you miss your court date. So it's important to keep your address current so that you can honor your court dates. And if you have a court date and you don't feel like you're prepared, still come on in, talk to a clerk, talk to me if that's needed. And that way we can move you ahead and maybe get an extension if it's needed. But don't skip a court date or a due date because it's a missed court date. Sterling Hall, I know you're here with the Pritchard Law Firm,
Yes, ma'am.
and y'all are going to talk about the Christopher Reifeis
ma'am.
case. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move you over to that meeting so that y'all can have that conversation while I'm having a general discussion. I know attorneys have heard most of what I have to say already, so doesn't bother me if y'all want to go ahead. So just a couple of more things about Class C offenses. It's important to understand that when you're given a citation, or if you're issued a summons, those are all methods under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when you give a plea, and pardon me while I multitask, when you give a plea, you're giving your answer to that accusation, your response, and we are presumed to be not guilty. If you plead not guilty, that case is moving toward trial because the state will be required to prove that case against you at trial before you are required to do anything at all. And actually, you're not required to do anything at all, but they are required to prove their case. And we have a number of cases that are on the docket today. Mr. Hall seems to be stuck. Let me see if it's going to move him eventually. So, okay, I can't help there. So what I will tell you is, you're presumed to be not guilty. And, if you enter that plea, then we're heading toward trial. That docket is meeting, as I said, by agreement this morning. And that is something that I do require that the parties meet. Sometimes there's a middle ground that they find, and sometimes they don't. I don't force that. I do ask the state to take a good long look at its case, make sure that when I'm, pulling a jury in, to have a jury proceeding, that they are ready to proceed, that they're going to have their case ready for trial. And, I would ask that you do the same, but that's actually, there's a lot of different strategies and I wouldn't tell anyone how to handle their case. But I do ask that everybody just take a good long look and see if we need to take that step. And if we do, we do. It's not a problem in any way. There is another option for pleading, the other two options for pleading in a court like this one. If you plead guilty, you're admitting that offense. You're waiving any challenges. You're moving forward with sentencing. And I'll talk about sentencing in a brief moment. If you plead, the second option for that is to plead no contest. If you plead no contest, you're authorizing the court to find you guilty without admitting or denying the offense. So that case also moves towards sentencing. In a Class C court, if you're moving towards sentencing, there are 4 options for dismissal that the judge would have available at that point. That would be compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. If you have something like that, I'll be looking for it because the language of those statutes say that the judge shall make that dismissal. And that's a marching order for me to go ahead and talk to you about it on a plea of guilty or no contest and see if sentencing can include a dismissal process. Mr. Mattson, if you could unmute for a moment. It sounded like Mr. Sterling, as I was moving him, I noticed he was hung up somehow, and then it sounded like it hung up. Did it hang up? Did he show up?
He did not appear in the breakout room, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm assuming he will dial back in, and if not, we'll reach out to him. If he comes back in, I'll move him back forward with you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and move you forward with the Melody Morelli case and Mr. Swain. I did see you a moment ago. I know you're here. And if you could unmute and let's move you on into that meeting.
I am here, Your Honor.
Great. Okay. So let me move you over and y'all can have that conversation. And so, you know, the compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. And if there is something like that, I'll be looking for that. And, you know, you're welcome to ask questions about it. It's your case. And if you advocate for yourself, that's what the law says that you do. So I wouldn't be, you know, don't be shy about it. On a plea of guilty or no contest, I'm expecting that you could have questions. Now, I cannot give you legal advice. I can answer basic questions like how things move through a court. And if you have questions like that, well, I'll move your case. I'll answer where I'm allowed to. So if you ask something that I can't answer, not trying to be rude, I'm just going to tell you why I can't answer and tell you your options at that point. If you're seeking legal advice and you want to delay your case in order to do that, the simple way that you do that is just to say, Judge, I need some time. And we don't court appoint counsel in Class C courts, but we do delay your case, give you time to meet with someone. If you hire someone, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. And, you know, we'll just take it how you're trying to take it. It's your case. Mr. Hall, I did see that you got hung up and something
ma'am.
disconnected you. And Mr. Mattson moved on into the next person, but I'll move you right back on with him. You'll be back on with him next, okay?
That's perfectly fine, ma'am. Thank you.
I saw it, but I was helpless. I couldn't do anything about it.
Understood.
We'll just get you there the best we can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And so just kind of back to, you know, asking your questions. If I'm not allowed to answer, I'll respectfully decline and let you know what's going on with that. So as far as then the options for dismissal, the compliance dismissals, again, as I said, are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. Oh, I see. And then the moving violations, those can be dismissed through a driver safety course option if you qualify to be in that program. And if you qualify to be in that program, you can expect that I will start talking to you about it and seeing if we can get you there. There's some good reasons for doing that. And I'll talk with you about those in a minute. Mr. Mattson, Mr. Swain, can we check in on the Morelli case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Swain's going to take an offer back to his client, so if we could reset, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll just mark it down as an offer has been made. Are we coming back to Zoom?
Yes, Judge, that would be fine.
That's January 28th of 2025. Is that acceptable for both of you?
That would be
There
good for
should
me.
be plenty of time, Your Honor. I do think Mr. Swain has several other cases that were reset at our last Zoom pretrial.
I recall. Mhm.
I don't know if he would like to have them all put together for efficiency. That's fine with me as well.
Okay, I think that docket has been closed and so I'm
Okay.
not gonna be able to do that, but
Okay.
I appreciate what you're saying. But if y'all get things resolved beforehand, that's also fine. And if not, we have the sort of stopgap date for us. So,
Yes, Judge.
okay, very good. All
Thank
right.
you, Your Honor.
And so if y'all get it resolved by that date, there's no problem. It's just a question of opening that docket up. It's just complicated with
Understood, Your Honor.
these mechanical systems are great, but when we want to undo things, they get tricky. Mr. Swain, do you have anything further that I need to address with you before I let you go?
I do not.
Then you are free to go with the thanks of the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Matson, Mr. Hall is back in, and it looks like things are working well. And so I'm going to go ahead and move him back over to meet with. Okay, and so I was talking about the the moving violation option with driving safety course options. And the thing there is, if you're qualified to be in that program, you do remove the item from your record and you do save money. So every ticket has a court cost and a fine. If you called the clerk and asked a question about that, they probably told you like a whole number. I think we're still having trouble with Mr. Sterling. Nope, it's good. He's good to go. So somebody else dropped off. I'll check on it in a moment. And so you probably got that whole number from the clerk's desk, and they gave you, the whole thing. But that number, like if you called and said, I've got a speeding in a school zone charge, and the clerk would have said it's $259. There's a court cost and a fine associated with that. The court cost is set by the legislature and the fine is set by the judge. And in the driving safety course option, you pay the court cost. You don't pay the fine if you complete it properly. You pay the court cost. It's all at once. It's not cheap. Those range from 144 to 169. Just to kind of gauge that, when I started practicing law, which doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it was about 25 years ago. When I started practicing law, it was $39, and now it's 169 is our top one. So you can see that's not inexpensive. And I do understand if you're qualified and you need some time, I might be able to work with you on that, as long as you stay on time to stay qualified. But you pay the cost all at once, and then we take that case and move it to a process where you have a 90-day window to turn in your driving safety course, a proper course, and your driving record, the proper record. And we'll give you a handout that explains what is the proper record and the proper class. But you choose the place where you take the class, and then you get your course turned in, you get your record turned in early or on time. There'll be a no later than date. It's a 90-day window. And if you turn that all in, then your case is dismissed. It's not on your record. And the fine sits on hold the whole time, and that gets waived. And so you do save some money. You do pay for the course and the record, but it's still less expensive than paying the whole ticket. It does keep it from being a conviction. So certain members of the public are qualified to be in that program. And on a plea of guilty or no contest, I'll start talking to you about that program to see if you're truly qualified. And if you want to do it and you're qualified, that's fine. And if you don't want to do it, that's not a problem either. It's just an option that's available for dismissal. It's one of the 4 dismissal options. So, and Mr. Hall and Mr. Matson, I think, are completed with their conversation, but I do need to get Mr. Hall moved back over, and I am trying to make that happen. So let's just hold for a minute, see if we can get him back over. And that way we can move that further along. Sometimes it takes a minute or so.
I think he was still having some kind of connection problems, Judge. I was able to hear him, but his video was frozen / off.
It just disconnected him. So there's a connectivity problem. And again, if it's something that is appropriate to share with me on that case, then that's fine. And if it's not, then that's also fine. I assume he'll log back in if he's able to do so. And if not, we'll see what we can do after court.
If he does log back in, Your Honor, he has an offer to take to his client. So we'd like to just reset that, please.
Okay, and we're resetting to Zoom.
That would be preferable, yes.
Okay, and do you have any idea if January 28th is going to work for him?
I would assume so, but I wasn't able to ask him that.
I'll check in with him. I'm
Okay.
going to move you, advance you forward. Mr. Alcozer is here on the Arvizu, Fernando Arvizu. Did I say that name correctly?
Arvizo, that's right, Judge.
Arvizo, great. Mr. Alcozer, I will move you over to that meeting with Mr. Matson at this time.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And so the third option for dismissal, I was talking about the dismissal options. The third one is called a deferred disposition. Deferred is a word that we use for delay, disposition to finalize, to make final. I delay making your case final. I put an order in place. The order will list the things that you need to do to earn that dismissal. If you do those things, you have then earned that dismissal, and I sign that dismissal. So if you are interested in doing that under state law, the way that you do that is in a Class C court, you can say, Judge, I'd like time. And, I give you the time to do that. And, sorry, not that. You say, Judge, I'd like a deferred. Excuse me. You would say guilty or no contest. I would like a deferred. That's how you ask. Mr. Hall is in. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. Mr. Walker keeps getting disconnected as well. So I don't know. Hard for me to know if it's the program or not. Mr. Hall, Mr. Matson was gracious enough to let me know that y'all had a reset date coming.
Yes, Your Honor.
My question for you is whether it would work for you to do the January 28th reset on Zoom time.
January 28th will work fine.
Okay, we're going to email that to the email that you have on file. And with the thanks and for your patience as well of the court, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Take care. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you. You too. Thank you. And if I could just find out, Cricket Dream 5G, can you tell me your name? I'm so sorry, you'll have to unmute.
Oh, Judge, my name's Jody Sims. I'm here for Sabrina Brown. I thought I was going to get put in a waiting room, and then I think I disconnected myself.
That's okay. It's happened a couple of times for you and a couple of other folks, and I'm not sure what the issue is, but I've noted that you're here and we're good.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome. And so on the deferral, that's a request that you can make. And then let's see. Sorry, I've got Paul is even having trouble hanging up. And so then on the deferral, you have to request, and the judge might say yes or no. And, the judge can say no, but the judge might say yes. What the judge is supposed to do is their duty, my duty, is to make sure that I, fully entertain the request and not just have a preset idea of what I will and won't allow as a deferral. So I will do that. And I will make sure that, I give it my due consideration. So I will honor making those requests and having a conversation about it and seeing if we can get you there. And so I just want to let you know that you do make that request. And then finally, there's the Brown case. I just found it. He's been in the whole time, but I'd forgotten to ask him who he represented or who he was. So, and then the final thing for you to know is teen court. And with teen court, that's actually, it's very similar to a deferred. There are things to do. I'm not going to go heavily into that unless someone is eligible. You have to be a high school or a middle school student. And I don't see anybody really on the docket this morning that looks like that's what they are, their age level. So I'm not going to spend time on that right now. Okay, Mr. Matson, I know you and Mr. Alcazar were visiting, and let me go ahead and get him moved back over. And then we'll go into the next case once we see where we are on Fernando Arvizu. So give us a minute here. Okay, so if I could get Mr. Alcazar and Mr. Matson to check in with me on the Arvizu case, that would be great.
Judge, we have an offer, and I need to send discovery to Mr. Alcazar later today, but I think there's a conflict with the January 28th reset date, so I figured we'd talk to you about when calendaring would work.
Okay. Mr. Alcazar, is that date not gonna work for you?
No, Judge, I'm looking at my calendar now. I have a mediation set for that day. Same case, I have depositions on Friday. And we're assuming that we're gonna settle that case at mediation. It's set for the 28th, beginning at 9 a.m. And I think it's a half day, so we should be done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll be done here, but before then. Okay, so really the answer is let's just find a different date. We can do the 14th. It's not been closed. It's a little full, but that some things come off and some things go on. So I think it'll work fine. Will that work for both of you?
Was that 14th of January, Judge?
Yes.
Judge, I'm in a jury trial in 169th.
Okay, and it's gonna go, you think?
I hope so. I
Okay.
think we're a number one setting.
If we're staying on Zoom, let's see, is December 31st open or is it closed? Give me a moment. I'm checking in with the clerk. December 31st is available.
Judge, I can maybe do that, but I have a telephonic hearing. It's an administrative law judge hearing beginning at 9:30
Okay,
first.
well, I bet we could sandwich you in if we're online. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to move you to an in-court proceeding.
If you could take me up as soon as we get on, Judge.
If you log in first, I certainly shall. Maybe you might want to log in a little early. Because the word's out, people are logging in quite early.
Yeah, I think I log in about 15 minutes beforehand. So
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I got you in the order that
no, I understand, Judge.
I
So you
will
want to
try.
shoot for the 31st?
I'm gonna say that I will set it on the 31st.
Okay. Just as long as the court understands, Your Honor, I would have to ask you to excuse me at 9:30.
Yeah, if that happens, then I'll excuse you and we'll probably set you for live court. Let's try.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, see you then. Mr. Matson, I'm gonna move you forward. Mr. Wolf and Mr. Alcazar, you're good to go unless you want to hang out. Or if there's more that I need to address.
Judge, to confirm, you said that was going to be the 31st of December?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Wolf has moved over on the Trevor Dickens case.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, and I'm just organizing files for a quick moment. I was trying to multitask and, well, it's gone fine, but I'm not done. Give me a second. And Joshua Bell is not here. Is anyone here from the Klepper Law Firm? For Ashley Williams? Okay, that's not great, but we'll just keep going. If I could talk first to, I'll say this incorrectly, but Nagia Barnes, can you unmute?
Good morning.
Good morning. I probably won't call you by your first name, but I'm interested in how to pronounce it properly.
Nigeria.
Nagia, thank you, ma'am. I'm Judge Person, and I did see that you were at the shelter, and okay. So one way to work on this, there's a couple of things we could do. I can order community service regardless, okay? I could grant a deferral if you make that request. That would keep it from being a conviction. Due to the situation that you're in, and I'm sorry that you're in it, in that situation, if you wish to talk to the prosecutor about the case, and provide current insurance, there are times, that he might be, lenient. So if you wish to have that conversation first, you're gonna need to let me know so that I can move you to his pocket.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you have insurance now?
I do not. Currently I am I'm unemployed just
Yes.
because I don't have the of course the transportation, but also I don't have anyone to watch my kids. They're not in childcare at the moment. So I'm just currently in that situation. I'm waiting for my TANF to actually kick in. And I should know something around the 21st, 22nd. So I'm just currently waiting for that, which is why I basically put payment plan on there. Because
Yeah.
if it kick in early or not, then I would go ahead and just make those payments.
Okay, let's pause the conversation for a moment. I've got some ideas to run by you. And I want to move Mr. Mattson and Mr. Wolf
Okay.
forward as well. Okay, just hang on a moment. Mr. Wolf, Mr. Mattson, on the Dickens case, where are we?
Your Honor, if we could reset one more time, Mr. Wolf is just waiting to get confirmation from his client on paperwork.
Okay, I can put that, since it sounds like that's possible to be moving forward. Let's go with December 31st.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, because maybe we can get that resolved beforehand.
Yes, ma'am.
And if not, well, we'll be here.
Right.
Okay. And I'll let you go. We'll send that to your email, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
And you too. Attorney for Jody Sims. I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, Mr. Sims, attorney for Sabrina Brown, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and move you over to that meeting with Mr. Mattson.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, and don't unmute, okay? I mean, stay unmuted. Right, great. Okay, so, sorry, Miss Barnes. So, do you no longer have a vehicle available?
I still have a vehicle. I'm just not driving it due to the fact that I am uninsured. But yes, ma'am, I do currently still have my vehicle.
Okay. Sometimes, a time is helpful. What I think I could do, if you could keep track of the time, I can keep you on Zoom. I can schedule you into January to talk to the prosecutor, and that would give you time to get insurance. And then y'all can have a discussion about whether a dismissal is an option in your situation or
I'm
not.
sorry. There was a car that passed by. Could you repeat that?
Okay, how much did you get? Because it's my second go and I don't mind repeating it, but I'm just wondering.
So I just basically heard as far as the prosecutor.
Yeah, if you want to talk to him, I'm going to reschedule you. That would give you time to get insurance.
Okay.
Okay, you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
I have January 28th available. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm pretty much open.
Okay, we're going to email that to the email that we have on file.
Okay.
And As soon as you get insurance, email it to us.
Okay,
And, we'll keep you on that docket and we'll expect to see you here that day. Just
Okay.
log in like you did today, okay?
yes, ma'am.
But don't forget, you won't get a second reminder. We'll send it and then you've got to
That'll be for that
remember,
one.
yeah, keep track
Okay.
of it, okay? I know
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
got a lot going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just keep on working the way you are on trying to solve all of this.
Okay, thank you so
We'll see you soon, okay?
much, ma'am.
You're good to go for now, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Mr. Mattson, I know that you and Attorney Sims were visiting, and so let's go ahead and check in and see where we are.
We have an agreement for deferral, Your Honor.
Okay,
It's gonna be a 120-day period
okay,
with payment of the fine by day 30. And Mr. Sims has already turned in the type 3A record that I requested, so I'll be passing that along to Aaron later today.
okay. So the payment date is December 12th. And the deferral ends March 12th. And there are no other terms and conditions outside of no tickets, no warrants, no failures to appear. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sims, are you good with that agreement?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I will email it to the email that we have on file for you. Can you print it, sign it, and email it back today?
Judge, I'm fixing to have to leave and go to the courthouse, but I can do it tonight. Does it need before 5?
We'll make an exception in your case. We'll look for it in the morning. Okay?
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You're good to go. Mr. Metzen, I'm moving you forward with Mr. Richard Walker. Mr. Walker, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Sims, you're good to go. And then I would like to talk to Gabriel Jaimez. And I believe he's no longer here. So.
I'm here, ma'am.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure how to turn on my camera.
Well, let me hit you with a request and see if that helps. There you go. Okay, let me kind of give you the rundown of what I think is happening and we can go from there.
Okay.
There's a no driver's license charge. And it sounds like you have an appointment for October, or had an appointment for October 21st.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think we're on a deferral for that. Let me go ahead and look real quickly. Okay. The clerk is helping me know what's happening here. Let's see. And it looks like I have an ID card. Okay, and I've got your email. We don't have signatures. Okay, first question. Did you get your license?
I wasn't able to. I had did the 6-hour course, but the what's it called, the certificate didn't come in time, so I wasn't able to get it that same day.
Are you rescheduled?
Yeah, I rescheduled it. I was able to get my ID though the same day.
Right, but an ID is not something you can drive on.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not driving currently no more.
I understand. I'm talking to you about the conditions of your deferred. So when are you rescheduled to get the driver's license?
I think the next one was December.
December what?
I gotta recheck. I don't remember correctly now.
Any ideas, or can you check that quickly?
Let me try to find.
Is he eligible for a dismissal option? No, he wouldn't be. He has an insurance case. Okay. Okay. Right. The thing is. Okay. The thing is. These are all dated the same though. So I just have 3 on my list. Is there a new one? These all say September 10th. Oh.
I think I would need to make an appointment. I don't know what happened to my appointment.
Okay, so that's the thing is that I can grant a deferral, but I want a license
Okay,
as a
I'll make sure to get that. Yeah, I already completed the test. I just need to go up there and make the appointment.
right, and you'll need to do that pretty quickly because they are not going to have a lot of availability. A lot of people, are trying to get their license.
No, yeah, they are pretty far.
Yeah. So another question I have is, I have you working at the Pro Crew LLC. Is that still where you're working?
Yes, ma'am. It's one of my. I work with my brother.
Okay. And so, are you living with family or are you living separately?
With family.
Okay. So can you, are you wanting a deferral on all 3 cases? So I just have 2 deferrals here. He didn't request it because probably he thought he could get a dismissal.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you trying to defer on all 3 cases or just on the insurance and plate charges?
If I could do all 3, if it's possible, I would like to.
I could. I'm gonna need to talk to you about payment and insurance and all of that. Give me just a moment. Let me kind of move Mr. Walker back over. And we'll take, I'm open to it. But there's some details we need to sort out.
It sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Walker's moving, but it's moving slow. Okay. Mr. Mattson and Mr. Walker, let's check in.
Judge, if we could reset this case, please, to give Mr.
Okay.
Walker some time to turn some stuff in, that'd be great.
Okay, I can reset to January 28th. Will that work?
That would be great.
Mr. Walker, will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to send that to the email that we have on file. If there's anything you're trying to have considered, Mr. Mattson had mentioned things were going to be turned in. You can email them to the court online help email that you probably have correspondence from with us already. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Mr. Walker?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go then. Get back to work, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Mattson, I'm moving you forward with Samantha Cortez. Miss Cortez, I'm gonna ask you to unmute and get on video. Thank you so much. And I will move you over to that meeting with Mr. Mattson, the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Jimenez, am I saying your name correctly, by the way? Or is it Jimenez? You'll have to unmute. I can't hear you.
Sorry, it's Hymus.
Hymus. Okay. So what I am trying to do is get you to that option. What I'd like to do though, and I'm really I want to kick off let's start with the insurance case, okay?
Mhm.
Maybe the cleanest. Were you insured at the time of the stop?
I was not, ma'am.
Okay. And so I am going to require insurance I don't know that I have any in the file just yet, unless you've
Okay.
recently submitted it. But I want to get current insurance as part of the deferral. So I would ask you on that.
Does it need to be on the same vehicle? Because I don't have that vehicle no more.
I got your email that you no longer have the vehicle, but I'm trying to make sure that you're driving insured.
No, yeah, I understand.
So whatever vehicle you have access to, the insurance needs to list the vehicle that you're currently driving and have your name on it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
sometimes that doesn't happen until you get licensed.
Yeah,
And these tickets were in September
yeah.
and you're still not licensed. So, we're not going to have a lot of wiggle room once we kick these deferrals off. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So the first question I have is, that one, the insurance case is 281.
Okay.
What is the most that you can pay towards that balance today?
I could probably do 100.
Okay. So we're doing $100 today. And then that leaves you with a balance of 181. Can you pay all that in 30 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, these are absolutes now. We're gonna have to, start really focusing then on, like really making sure. So by December 12th, I'm looking for 3 months of prepaid insurance.
Okay.
And I can email that to you as an agreement if you can, but I do want to know that you can print it and sign it and email it back. Otherwise, you're local, we could make it available here at the court, which would work better for you.
Yeah. I think probably go to the court. Is it the one on 3rd Street?
Right where you came before.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'll have that at the window for you. When can we expect to see you?
When did to pay the 100?
And to sign your document?
Okay, I could come in today.
Yeah, what time?
Around 2?
Okay. All right, we'll look for you around 2 on that one. I'm gonna hand that to the clerk. The next case is the case of the two, sorry, let's look at the license charge. So on the license charge, are you able to pay anything towards that balance today?
How much was it?
That one is,
I should be able to pay like 100 on each
I think I handed
on
you.
each ticket.
Okay, so you can pay no, I handed you the list of his cases.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay. You can- That's fine. So on the license charge, you can pay $100 today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then do you need more than 30 days to pay the remaining balance? That balance will be 81, but you're also paying the other one, which is 181 in 30 days. So can you do the remaining amount at that point?
I should be able to. And how much would be left on the 3rd ticket?
On the one that we're talking about, with just the license, $100 today means that the balance will be $81 on that one. And
Okay.
the balance, I'm asking if you can pay that balance, that $81 in 30 days, which
Yeah,
is
be able to.
okay. And then I'm gonna look for a driver's license on the 60th day,
Okay.
because I'm gonna try to give you some time there.
Thank you.
And so I'm gonna hand that one to the clerk so that they can work on that, because I don't have one on me just yet. Yes. And then the final one is a failing to display your plates. Did you say that you were paying $100 today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it's not a moving violation. Is that one where you want a deferral, or do you want to pay that one out slowly? What do you want to do there? I'm willing to grant a deferral, but I do have to get a signature today?
I'll do a deferral, ma'am.
Okay, I'll grant it. And so that would end in March. Like the other ones, it'll end March 12th.
Okay.
And after today, when you've paid $100 on that one, I think your balance at that point will be $81. Do you need more than 30 days to pay that final amount?
No, ma'am, I should be able to do it in 30 days.
Okay, so these become conditions of your deferral, and I'll grant deferred on all three. That one, and as with all of them, you'll be able to sign those today and make the first initial payments. But on that one, what are you currently driving?
I'm not currently driving. I just get rides for my girl.
Okay. So as far as like getting insurance and so forth, I mean, are you gonna be getting a vehicle at the point where you're licensed?
Yeah, once I start making an appointment, I will be looking into getting another vehicle.
Okay. I think I won't add another condition on that one. I think I'm just gonna leave it as a straight deferral.
Okay, thank you.
Why make it hard? I'm not trying to make it hard.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Those the paperwork will all be at the window, but just keep track of your deadlines if you want to stay on these deferrals, okay?
Okay,
All
thank you.
right. Do you have any questions, Mr. James?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then you're good to hang up now, okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
And you too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Moving Samantha Cortez back over. That should happen pretty quickly. There we go. So, Mr. Matson, Ms. Cortez, let's check in on the single charge of failing to notify regarding rabies.
Judge, I wanted to check with you and see if Ms. Cortez would be eligible for community service.
Okay, let me double check that. I have, yep. Let me do a little calculating. Ma'am, are you still working at Bel Air?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Do you actually get the child support?
I haven't been receiving it the last month
Okay,
because his father got hurt.
okay. I can order community service as a part of as a way to pay the balance. If I did that, it would be 11 hours of community service. Due to the fact that you have a child at home, I would give you up to 60 days to get that done on anything else that we might be doing. So let's hear from the prosecutor and see where we are.
Judge, I'd like to apply that community service to a deferral.
Okay. So a deferral that would last 120 days. That means it would end March 12th of 2025. We'll put all this in writing. In fact, we're going to need your signature, but 11 hours of the community service. And I'm going to put a due date of January 13th, 2025. We're going to give you a list of places where you can do the work, have you sign some forms, and give you a timesheet to keep track of your hours, in addition to the deferral paperwork that you would sign and get a copy of today. And Mr. Mattson, are there any other conditions?
No, Judge.
Okay, and at the end of the deferral period, which is March 12th, the case would be dismissed, okay?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
come by the court today to do that signature and pick up that paperwork. There's quite a bit of papers.
Is there any way I can go tomorrow morning?
Yeah,
First thing? I'll be
yeah.
there first thing. Okay.
Okay, we open at 8,
Okay.
and I made a note on your file that it'll be tomorrow morning, okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Cortez. Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Okay, you are good to go. Thank you.
Yes, you have a good day.
And you too. And Shelby Langvart, can you get on screen and unmute?
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, I promise I haven't forgotten about you. You're coming right up. Mr. Mattson, are we ready to move Ms. Langvart back over?
We are, Judge.
Okey doke. Okay, and so let's see where we are on the single charge of failing to yield the right of way.
I'm gonna move to dismiss that charge, Your Honor.
Okay. I will let you send that over later on this morning, perhaps.
I will do that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And so, Ms. Langbart, I will actually email that to you once I've signed it to the email that we used to set up the meeting today. Will that
Okay.
work for you?
Yep.
Okay, you're good to go then. Thank you. And Mr. Robinson, are you ready to have a seat and I can move you over to that meeting?
Excuse me.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Let me move
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yes, let me move you over to that meeting.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Langvart. Did you have a question?
Hi, I'm sorry. No, it just kicked me off. I don't know what happened, so I got
Oh,
back on.
well, your case was done, so I wasn't worried about it, but thank you
Okay.
for checking back in. Once I sign the dismissal, I will email it to the email that we have on file that we set the meeting on.
Okay.
Is that still a working email for you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's check in and see where we are.
Oh, he is over here. Your Honor, if we could reset this case, just to give Mr. Robinson some time, that'd be great.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, I'm gonna have to take you off video because you're driving. I'm gonna reschedule you to January 28th.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll send that to the email that we have on file. Thank you.
Thank you so much, too, ma'am.
I'm gonna end the meeting.